Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Deluxe Class WheelJack from Transformers Earthrise, War for Cybertron Trilogy. Yes, that's right, not Siege. We have moved on to Earthrise. As you can see, the packaging is a little different. You have kind of a new mural style picture on the side here with the arc kind of making planet fall onto Earth. You have some of the same characters, like you can see Hound is there, you can see Sideswipe is there, Shockwave. But then you have RC, you have Trailbreaker. Not quite sure who that is. I think it's Bumblebee. It's very tiny, but I think that's Bumblebee. So I'm sure we're going to get a Bumblebee repaint of Cliffjumper. Here's Optimus, of course. Here's the Nemesis shooting down the arc. Here's a Quintesson, Megatron. There's Unicron hanging out on the side there. And then, can't tell who that is. Looks like it's actually two, maybe? Oh, that might be Astro Train? I don't know. No. Oh, you know what? No, that's Double Dealer. I heard we were getting a Double Dealer. Sweet. So a very cool picture there on the side. On the back shows robot mode, vehicle mode obviously. Shows him using the shield, which is the Battle Master in the first wave for Earthrise. Have not been able to find him yet. Otherwise, packaging is pretty similar. Oh, is that a Galvatron? That looks like Galvatron floating around up top. So this should be some good surprises, I guess. Earthrise. I'm excited for it. Excited for the new series, I guess you would call it. Siege was great. Earthrise looks like it's going to be pretty sweet as well. So let's go ahead. Let's get WheelJack out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. Real quick before we move on to the figure, I just wanted to show the inside of the packaging here. This is where like the plastic tray sits. There was this little red piece in a bag taped down here, and I'm not quite sure what this is for, but you can see this section here, which kind of looks like it's supposed to be cut out. And I saw on Twitter someone, I apologize, I can't remember the name, they were cutting these out, and apparently you can hook them together like Settlers of Catan hexagons and make a full map, and then I guess they all intersect and show like an X marks the spot type of situation. So if you are more adventurous than I, you can go ahead and cut those out and do that. But this red thing here looks like you can kind of put it over top and it makes you see the red lines a little bit easier. And this looks like it says ANPILLAY, which I'm not sure what that means, or maybe it's like an anagram. You have to unscramble it. I don't know. But I thought it was kind of interesting that they're doing something fun with the packaging. So not really sure what I'm going to do with this thing, but maybe I'll hold on to it for now. But I'm not really sure what they're doing here, but I think it's kind of neat. It looks like you're supposed to cut this out and then put it together with the other ones from the other figures. So we'll see what that eventually turns into sometime. Maybe someone online will crack it and tell us what it means. But I thought it was neat. Like, the packaging doesn't have to be interactive, but it is. So I think that's kind of cool. Second stand. Awesome. So here is WheelJack out of the packaging, and I have to say, I like the look of him. He feels a little basic, just because it's kind of an easy transformation. Well, it's funny, it's kind of an easy transformation that's very finicky, so you'll see what I mean when I get there, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with him. I definitely like it. I think the color scheme looks good. Definitely screams WheelJack to me. I kind of don't love the giant flat backpack thing going on, and I feel like the wings should be a little bit higher, a little bit more pronounced, but overall I think it's fine. I think it works. Nice Autobot symbol there on the chest. Getting in a little bit closer to take a look at the face sculpt. He does have the blue eyes. They're kind of a little overshadowed by the head crest, but definitely WheelJack. They definitely did a good job with all the detail, the molding. And he has the little cannon on his shoulder, which you can take off if you want. That's not necessary to put there, but it's more show accurate. I think the original toy had that as well, but you can see it's just a little pegs in. It can really peg in on either side, so if you prefer one side to the other, doesn't matter. I'm just going to take it off for now. I mean, I guess he can also hold it as a little weapon if you want, which I think looks a little goofy. Also, he's got connectors on the side of his arms, so you can put it there. Really, anywhere you want. He's got connectors on the side of the arms, side of the forearms. Nothing down here on the legs, it seems. A one peg on the back. He's got some pegs here on the back of the legs. He does have some pegs here on the bottom of his feet. So if you still want to use weaponizers with these guys, you should be able to for the most part. One thing you will notice, though, he doesn't have any unsightly metal chipping, battle damage wear, anything like that. He's just a normal-looking Autobot Transformer, and I like it. I'm very happy about this. I'm glad that gimmick is over. I get what they were going for, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm glad it's done. Articulation, head is on the ball joint, spin side to side, a little bit up and down. Shoulder, hinge, swivel. You have a swivel in the bicep. You have 90 degrees in the elbow. You do have some wrist swiveling. You have waist swivel, hips, front, back, out to the side. 90 degrees in the knee. You have the classic ankle tilt. So it's all right there for you. He looks good. I like it. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like the legs are just, I don't know. Maybe they're too chunky. Maybe they're not long enough. He feels short, but then when I put him next to another, like here's Golf / Scalar, just because I have him handy, he's about the same size. I mean, maybe he's a little bigger. But I mean, for the most part, same size, right? So, I don't know. He just feels short, but I don't really think he is. But I do like him. I mean, he definitely looks like WheelJack. I like it. I like the mold. Colors are great. Paint application's very good. Articulation, pretty much what you'd expect. So I'm happy. He's got a couple of those little blast things if you want to peg something on there. He can use any of the Battle Masters, no problem. There's another one of those little pegs over here. So, pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get into the transformation. Alright, so, transformation is fairly simple, but can be a little finicky in spots, and you'll see what I mean. I'm going to start by stretching the arms all the way out to the side. Going to rotate at the bicep forward 90 degrees, and then you're going to rotate at the wrist back 90 degrees. And so that kind of all lines up, and now it kind of sits flush. So do that again with the other one. There you go. Come around to the back. Flip these pieces around to fill out the spoiler. There you go. Next, you're going to lift this whole front section off. It's going to unpeg. It's on 2 pegs in the chest. You can see there were 2 peg spots right there, and there were 2 pegs, one right there and right there. Pretty simple. Rotate the head down into the chest. Now the directions tell you to spin this around, but I find it's kind of hard with this thing like flopping around down here. So I'm just going to say hold off a second and we're going to wait on that. I find it a little bit easier to do it in a minute. You can try to do it now if you'd like, but I find it easier to do in a minute. So kind of bring the feet down and straighten them out with the rest of the car down here. Now, as you start to bring these away from the side, this little piece of window is going to flip up. So you kind of just need to then slide that right into the cutout, just like that. And this is the part that I said can be a little finicky, just because you kind of have to make sure everything lines up, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then you can snap this all together. Like so. Then you can bring this down. Again, you have the 2 peg spots for those 2 pegs. And for some reason, my ankle tilts don't like to come all the way back in, as you can see. Like, once I get everything pegged in, it works out, but sometimes I have a little bit of difficulty trying to get them all the way back over. Then you're going to spin this around, which, see, like I said, I just find it a little bit easier at this stage. I don't know why. So, if you want to do it earlier, you can. I just find it a little bit easier to do it then. At this point, you're pretty much done. You're going to lift these up, and you can see how they have the 2 peg spots that I used for the gun on the shoulder. These are going to lift up, and he has tiny little tabs right there. and that's going to peg into that spot. So this whole thing is going to lift up. That's going to lightly tab into there. I don't know why. The one seems to go in really easy for me and the other one gives me trouble. So there you go. That's the back of the car. And then this is just going to fold forward. You can see that there is a, well, maybe you can't because it's kind of dark, but there is a tab slot right there and there's a tab right there. So this is going to come in and just tab against, and there you go. That is your fancy race car. Very, very nice. If you want to take this, you can go ahead and plug this in up top, or you can plug any other Battlemaster weapon. They're all the same size peg, so whatever you want. You can plug in weapons here as well in the back. If you wanted to peg that in there or something, you could. Otherwise, in vehicle mode, he doesn't have too many plugs, really just the two at the back, the one on the top. He's got a ton underneath though. He's got two here, two here. So if for some reason you wanted to peg in some stuff underneath, you certainly could. But it's a pretty cool car. I like it. Let me zoom in a smidge here. Rolls very nice. Very excellent detailing, and the paint looks fantastic. Little Autobot symbol. You can see it says Praxis, Cybertron, Con, then it says Cybertron in katakana right there. Invenzi 1 even says WheelJack, very tiny right there. So pretty cool. A lot of nice detailing, little print and everything, and it's a cool car mode. I like it. It feels very solid. You don't really see a ton of robot kibble underneath, which I think is nice. Like I said, rolls nice. So very cool car. I like it quite a bit. I think WheelJack's great. Excellent start to my Earthrise collection. Really nice vehicle mode, nice robot mode. Articulation's great. Really knocked it out of the park with the paint applications and the detailing and all the little text and everything on the side of the race car. I think is a really nice touch. So really happy that they went that a little bit of extra mile. He does seem a little short. I don't know if they're naturally starting to make Deluxes a little bit shorter, or if it's one of those deals where he's a little bit shorter because other figures in the line are a little bit bigger, or if it's because of all the paint applications he has. You know, it's all relative. All those things get kind of taken into account when they're pricing these and sizing these and all that kind of stuff. But in either case, I think he looks great. He's definitely an improvement over that WheelJack we got. Was it Reveal the Shield or Gold Box back in the day, where they repainted, remolded the tracks? I think this guy works out better. I think we are going to see this mold again as Sunstreaker later on, which would make sense. We've had Sideswipe and Siege, so time for a Sunstreaker. And I think this mold could definitely work for him, so I think that could be pretty cool. But yeah, in the meantime, like I said, I'm loving Earthrise. Packaging, definitely brighter, a little bit more jubilant than Siege, which was very dark and very somber. So we'll see how the rest of this line goes, but like I said, definitely off to a good start. Definitely recommend picking this guy up. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.